joined now by Rabbi Marc Schneier, president of the Foundation for Ethnic Understanding, joining us from New York. Rabbi Schneier, how can a chair be effective in combating anti-Semitism if there's not an agreement on the actual definition of anti-Semitism?
I couldn't agree more. There's this deliberate attempt on the part of Mamdani and his cohorts to bifurcate, to divide Israel from the Jewish community, from the Jewish faith. And IRA is the accepting, working definition of anti-Semitism accepted by 50 countries, globally 37 of the 50 states here in America. Even the city of Chicago just last week adopted the IRA definition that not only safeguards the memory of the Holocaust, but it also defends the rights of the Jewish people for self-determination, meaning the state of Israel. So what is so troubling is that you have a newly appointed envoy or commissioner to combat anti-Semitism who is reformulating, she is reinventing the definition of anti-Semitism. How could anyone who has this orientation and this misguided view of the IRA definition, how could anyone be at the forefront of combating anti-Semitism in this city?
Why is specifically this IRA definition of anti-Semitism so important for the city to adopt? If a different framework or a different definition is agreed upon within the city, what would that actually mean in reality when fighting against anti-Semitism?
Because this definition safeguards the state of Israel, defends Jewish people's rights to self-determination. It does not allow for any boycotts or sanctions of the Jewish state. And the demonization of the state of Israel and the use of terms, anti-Semitic tropes like apartheid, occupation, genocide, that only leads to more and more physical attacks on Jews in our city. And we saw the contrast in the month of January 2026 and January 2025, a 182% uptick in anti-Semitic attacks in New York. This is all about the anti-Israel rhetoric, the diatribe. Mamdani is a product of his father's anti-Israel ideology, and why we must remain vigilant here in New York. We will not accept any attempt to break out, to divide, to bifurcate Israel from the Jewish community. It's plain and simple. Anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism.
Yes, those statistics certainly do speak for themselves. Rabbi Schneier, then what exactly would success or should success look like for New York City anti-Semitism office right now? Are there any concrete steps that you would recommend that New York be taking on to protect the Jewish communities amid this surge in anti-Semitic crimes?
You can create all the task force you want. You can build the most palatial, majestic, anti-Semitic office to combat anti-Semitism. The answer is right in front of us, and Mamdani, I don't think he's guilty of overlooking the obvious, but the obvious is right in front of us, and that's the IRA working definition of anti-Semitism that has been accepted throughout the world. And not only does it safeguard the Jewish people against any anti-Semitic attacks, but as important, it safeguards the Jewish people in terms of our relationship with the state of Israel. I mean, we have a mayor of the city of New York, and I've told this to Mamdani several times now. Not only are you out of touch with the Jewish community of New York, you're out of touch with the greater Muslim world. I mean, you know, I visit all the presidents, the emirs, the kings of Arab and Muslim majority countries, and they may champion a Palestinian state, but never at the expense of the Jewish state of Israel. And here we have a mayor of the largest Jewish population in the world outside of Israel who refuses to recognize the democratic Jewish state of Israel to exist. We have a real challenge before us here in New York, but until that definition is accepted, until the mayor of New York City will acknowledge and recognize the Jewish state of Israel, we have many, many challenges before us.
All right, Rabbi Marc Schneier, great to hear your perspective on exactly what we're seeing, especially with this IRA definition. It seems very crucial for the people of New York and the United States to understand right now. Thank you very much.